Really? Charlie asked, surprised. This is the 21st century. How come you big families are more feudal than those in the ancient feudal society of our country? This is not feudal. Warnya said earnestly. This is the survival rule of the upper family. Law of survival? Charlie asked curiously. How to say? Warnya said seriously. We need to cooperate, bind, and exchange resources with other families. Therefore, one of the family mottos of our Song family is very important. All direct members of the family must obey the family when talking about marriage. In the feudal society, the requirement of the Song family to intermarriage was that the marriage must be between the cousins. That is, the previous cousin married the cousin, this cousin married that cousin. This is to prevent wealth dilution or outflow, but now the country prohibits 3 generations blood relatives to married, but even abroad, many cousins still get married. Later, our family motto was gradually relaxed. We did not require marriage with a cousin, but we had to intermarry with other large families. The other side's family power can be higher than our own, but it must not be too much lower than ours. Speaking of this, Warnya sighed and continued. The family believes that a family has the value of cooperation, and it will find ways to let the men of the family marry the women of the other family, or marry the women of the family into the other family. All family members must focus on family interests and must not disobey any arrangements made by the family, especially major marriages. Charlie sighed, and said, It seems that this big family also has the distress of the big family. The richer, the more greedy for money. When speaking, Charlie also sighed inwardly. It seemed that if he returned to the Wade family would absolutely have to exercise the same control over him, and might even look down on the Wilson family and force him to divorce Claire. And then introduce him to a wealthy daughter from another big family. It seemed that the Wade family really couldn't return. Thinking in his heart, Charlie asked, By the way, I think Miss Song, you are also at the age of marrying. I wonder if your family has arranged a good marriage partner for you? Warnya shook her head and said, It was originally planned. First, my cousin Honor's marriage was decided. His fiancée was the daughter of a northern family designated by my grandfather. When it was my turn, my grandfather was seriously ill. So I didn't care about this matter anymore, but now my grandpa is healed from illness, I guess he will start planning my marriage soon. Charlie laughed helplessly when he heard it, and said, Miss Song doesn't seem to want to be restrained by the Song family? Warnya nodded and said, I really don't want to, but I have no other way. Why? Charlie said earnestly, I think your grandfather should have changed his mind after this critical moment of life and death, plus this time you found me and saved his life. If he is really grateful to you, you ask him for a free body, or a right to freely decide your future husband, I believe he should agree. Warnya smiled bitterly and shook her head, and said, It's impossible. Even if Grandpa loves me and wants to agree, he dare not agree. Why? Charlie asked puzzledly. Isn't your grandpa the head of the family? He controls everything in the Song family, so what else is he afraid of? Warnya said seriously, the Song family has developed many branches for so many years to date. The branches rely on rules to restrain each other so that everyone obeys the family precepts. Otherwise, if you break the rules, others will also imitate. Once your children marry freely, children from other families also hope to be able to love freely. In that case, the Song family's losses will inevitably be very heavy. If everyone is so unruly, the Song family may fail in a few decades. Having said that, Warnya said again, the Song family has been able to stand tall from the end of the Qing dynasty. It has grown up to today. The main thing is that everyone abides by the family motto and does not cross the thunder pool for half a step. Even if the family is divided and there are many branches, our various branches are also supervising each other, and no one is allowed to have anything harmful to the interests of the Song family. Charlie sighed and said seriously, I always thought that Miss Song was a very powerful woman. I didn't expect you to be a sleeping beast. Everything must be at the mercy of others. Right. Warnya sighed very lowly, and said, There is no way to fight this kind of thing. Speaking of this, Warnya shook her head, picked up the glass, and said, Mr. Charlie, let's not talk about these unhappy things. Come on, drink. I'll toast to you again. Charlie smiled slightly, picked up the wine glass, and said, This glass of wine, to respect for freedom. Warnya was slightly startled. Respect for freedom?